Ya, oke udah ya. Satu, dua, tiga.
Fadil from Philippines. I work as project leader and programmer on this team. My name is Narayan. I am mechanic.
My name is Nadia. I am mechanic. My name is Aisha. I am mechanic.
My name is Hanif. I am a mechanic.
The presentation, I want to show you how our final product until the final product work. So the first thing you need to do is turn on the switch here. So when it turns on, it will turn on the ventilator. So by default, the red LED will turn on and the LCD will turn on. This means that it's on mode that it don't move at all. So to use it, you have to change the parameters using this fourth knob. There is four knob. This is respiration rate knob. This is tidal volume knob, maximum pressure knob, and inhale exhale ratio knob. So you have to change it based on the patient condition. For example, baby and mature human is different. It have different tidal volume of their lungs. So by default, the tidal volume value is around 200. If you turn it on, it will move slowly and not really deep like this. Now to stop it, you have to press this red button. Then if you change the tidal volume to above 500, it will push the airbag more deeply and more fast. As you can see, the balloon is bigger on the tidal volume when it's above 500. So right now, the only parameters that affect the movement of this arm is this tidal volume. Okay.
Okay, presentation.
Now we'll present our presentation slides. So as we said before, I work as project leader and programmer. So the background we made this ventilator is a machine that function to support or assist breathing. That are often needed by patients who are unable to breathe on their own, either due to serious illness or injury. The purpose of using this tool is to make sure the patient receive an adequate oxygen intake.
One of the symptoms of COVID-19 is already also weak. The lungs will become inflamed and filled with fluid. It makes lung performance unstable and exhausted, and the distribution of oxygen is disrupted. Therefore, the body needs breathing assistance to take over the work of the lungs. How ventilators work? Ventilators pump oxygen into the body when the respiratory system can do it. This machine can pass through the narrow airways and channel highly oxygenated air into help the lungs that have been damaged in order to help spread more oxygen. There are two main ways a ventilator works. The first is to pump air into the patient's lungs using positive air pressure. The second is to let air be drawn into the lungs naturally by using negative air pressure.
The first COVID-19 case in Indonesia occurred on March 2nd, 2020. COVID-19 cases have increased dramatically since then until now. Patients who tested positive for COVID-19 continue to arrive at hospital. The number of patients continues to increase dramatically while hospitals could not accommodate more patients due to inadequate provision. The number of patients has caused instability between the supply and demand for the medical device in hospital. Many patients do require treatment at hospital but do not receive educate medical equipment when of the medical device needs ventilator.
So the next is design process. Okay, so we form our team in the fourth week of the Finland project. So in the first week, we search about theory and background information about this project. And then in week 5, we make 3D design of the ventilator, and we make a bill of materials. And in week 6, we confirm the design to Kasuria, and consultate about the design and the structure.
By week 7, we started purchasing all the items, materials, and equipment that required in order to construct it. And also later on in that week, we immediately started mainly preparing and cutting the wood in order to build the frame and the body of the ventilator and its mechanisms. Week 8, programming had started, as for the most part we had finished the main pumping mechanism, and we continued construction mostly on the body and doing also revisions on the main mechanism in order to have it work properly. By week 9, we again continued construction. By this time, for the most part, the body was done, and we were starting to put in control panels and controls, and still continue to revise the pumping mechanisms. And by week 10, again, it's still main continuation. I was mainly refining it, as almost everything has already been done. It's just cleaning up things and doing minor tweaks. And by week 11, it was all that we need to do is finishing, just cleaning up the programming, streamlining it, and decorations. That's it.
focusing on this ventilator we show you earlier. So it has many components here. The first is balloon, and yes, it represent the lungs of human, and this is the airbag that pump the air into the lung. This is the arm that push the airbag, and this is the LCD that shows you the parameters of the ventilator. Fork knob that can be used to change the parameters. For LED, this is this red LED means that the operation of the ventilator stops. The green LED means that the ventilator is operating. Yeah. The blue LED means that it's on inhalation phase, and the orange LED means that it's in exhalation phase. So the red button used to stop the operation of the ventilator and change the parameters, and the green button used to start the operation by the yes using the existing parameters here. So if you look inside, there is a lot of electrical stuff. This is the Arduino, breadboard, LEDs, gears, motors, and many gears for the arm. This is the power supply for supplying the power. This is the motor driver controlling the motor, and many stuff more. This is the video of the ventilator. On the week 8, the first problem we faced too is the arm cannot push the airbag. It's because the gear is not strong enough to push the airbag. So we have to add more torque to the mechanism so it can push the gear. Second problem we face into is the red button. This button isn't functioning on the week 9. So after we search for the problem, it is because the old button is broken. So we replace it with a new one. And the third problem we face into is the PV potentiometer. Here, this potentiometer doesn't work properly. We have checked for the code, the wires, and the potentiometer itself, but nothing's wrong. The potentiometer is fine, the wire is fine, and the code is also fine. So the only thing we can do is replace the whole thing because the potentiometer, the wires, and double check the code, and it solves the problem. This is our bill of material, and the total is a little bit 2 million.
Over than 2
A
million.
little bit.
Little about, yeah. More than 2 million.
So next is the project review. This is my project review. In my opinion, this project is quite important because of the current condition of the coronavirus pandemic. Ventilator is the one of things that can help the patient suffering from the coronavirus. Nowadays, the stock of the ventilator are very low, and when many people needs it. Thus, me and Reed team decided to make this ventilator to help those who needs it on this current pandemic situation. I work as a project leader, and my task is to make sure all things go well, and my other task is to host the ventilator. At first, things go well. Me and my team write the existing theories and knowledge about this ventilator, and it seems pretty easy. But with the time, things goes hard. In the manufacturing or construction phase, there's many problems we face. We have struggled. For example, the potential method isn't functioning like we said before, and the button, the arm cannot push, or stuff like that. Uh, and this problem honestly makes me feel pessimist. Uh, but in the end, we still can fix the ventilator. So however, it turns out that in the end, my teams can make this ventilator that functioning really well.
And the project was very useful because it was needed for help achieve respiratory problems in right now it's current moment caused by COVID-19. And initially, when working on this, I was in the media and and for the first couple of weeks, we focused on documenting the thing. However, later on, as more manpower was needed to do it, I also eventually started helping more and more actual construction and the mechanics of the whole thing.
I was born in discussed with him with group, and I were asked to make a ventilator project, and in this thing I was tasked with being a mechanic who managed what materials we needed and the specification at once. For me, the project of a making ventilator is good, starting from the problem, hospital, the, the leg, the leg ventilators, the history of the ventilators. It's good starting from the history of pandemics, what is COVID-19, the difference between viruses and bacteria and the others. When viewed from the current condition, indeed like, good to make a ventilator project because indirectly we also have COVID-19 volunteers, especially my aunt to the point that my aunt overhelped to make an engineering group and wanted to provide knowledge about COVID-19 to me, which was very useful until now.
This project is really as learning problem but it's programming and mechanic and calculator and according to the setting of the programming calculator there is but error right so it must translate the second the second is the state of never behaving up to works.
Yes. Okay.
My
Ani.
name is Ahmad Zain. I was born in Jakarta in 2005. Now I study at Teknonatura. Now Teknonatura is doing ventilator project. For me, the ventilator project is an interesting project. Start with the discussion of the pandemic, coronavirus, and lack of hospital equipment. I think the ventilator project is a useful and appropriate project at this time. Besides teaching concern for problems, but also teamwork. I saw called the team make a ventilator because ventilator is serious and that is usually not made by yourself, but it's made by big companies that are expert in their fields. But it turns out that the team can make a good ventilator on our grade while still in junior high 3. Next.
Okay. Okay. Next.
Project that is into a course in the during this project, I worked on the part and also now we are working on another project, and in this project I had group one and I got the mechanic part. And in this project I helped make the body part of the ventilator, make the roof of the ventilator, and also showed several parts, and I also documented group work with Nadine. In this project I studied how breathing work, COVID-19 or virus, made a ventilator, studied things that existed or related to ventilator, such as tidal volume, respiratory rate, air pressure. My feeling during this project is happy because I'm learning a lot of new things.
Next. Oh, Aisyah. Okay. 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 Thank you. Okay. I think you already mentioned all, okay, in your analysis, your thinking about the pandemic. Okay. Any questions? No? Gak ada. Okay. So, okay. Thank you. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.